Could masturbation be the key to a longer, healthier life? What they don't tell you, they told you masturbation was wrong, shameful, even useless at your age. But what if it's actually one of the most natural ways to heal your body after 60? Can something that relieves stress, eases pain, and improves sleep really be wrong? Or have we just been too afraid to talk about it? You decide, but hear this first. Now, I know what you're thinking. Did she really just say that? Yes, I did. Let's talk about masturbation. And before you blush, hear me out. This might just be the most important health tip no one's telling seniors. Let me tell you something I've learned over the years. The older you get, the less you care about what other people think. And thank goodness for that. Because what I'm about to talk about would have made me blush 50 shades of red back when I was younger. But now, I've earned the right to say what I want. Now, here's the thing. Everyone talks about self-care these days. You hear it everywhere. Take time for yourself, they say. And I'm all for it. But when they say self-care, they're usually talking about bubble baths, yoga, or sipping some overpriced herbal tea. Let me tell you, that's not the only way to feel good. Sometimes self-care means really taking care of yourself, if you know what I mean. And before you start thinking, oh, this old lady's gone completely off her rocker, let me assure you, this isn't just about feeling good. Although, let's be honest, that's a pretty great benefit. No, this is about your health. Real, honest-to-goodness health benefits, especially for folks my age. You know, there's a lot of talk about how to stay healthy as you age. They'll tell you to eat your greens, get some exercise, and stay social. And yes, all of that's important. But what about something that's free, private, and makes you feel good instantly? Why is no one talking about that? Let's be real, as we get older, some things get harder, like our joints. And some things get softer, like, well, let's not go there. But one thing we can still do is show ourselves a little love. And I'm here to tell you that it's not just about pleasure. It's about relaxation, stress relief, and even better sleep. Yes, sleep. And don't even get me started on how it helps with circulation and pain. So, why am I talking about this? Because I'm 78 years old, and I've got nothing to lose. And because if no one else is going to tell you the truth, I will. Masturbation isn't just for the young folks, honey. It's for all of us, especially those of us with a little more wisdom under our belts or skirts. Stick with me, and I'll tell you exactly why this little act of self-love might just be the best-kept health secret for us seniors. Trust me, you'll thank me later. All right, let's dive into it. We've all heard the usual advice about staying healthy. Eat your vegetables, get moving, stay social. But there's something we don't talk enough about. Something that's been around since the dawn of time, and it's surprisingly good for you. I'm talking about masturbation. Now, I know this might make some of you squirm, but trust me, by the end of this, you might just be reconsidering the don't talk about toot rule. First off, let's talk about stress. Lord knows as we get older, the stress doesn't just disappear. We've got bills to pay, doctors to see, the news to watch, which, let's be honest, can be enough to give anyone a headache. But here's where masturbation comes in. When you reach that point, it's like your own personal little vacation. Masturbation releases endorphins, the feel-good hormones. These are the same chemicals that help you feel relaxed, happy, and a little more at peace with the world. After all the hustle and bustle of daily life, don't we deserve a little something to help us unwind? And speaking of unwinding, let's talk about sleep. How many of us seniors find ourselves tossing and turning at night, staring at the ceiling, wishing we could just get a good night's sleep? Well, let me tell you, that's where masturbation can work wonders. It helps release prolactin, which is the hormone that makes you feel relaxed and, well, sleepy. So, when you're lying in bed, not able to drift off, think about how a little solo time might just do the trick. Now, let's talk about something we don't like to discuss, but is important: circulation. As we get older, blood flow isn't always what it used to be. But guess what? Masturbation is great for circulation. It's a natural way to get the blood pumping and your heart rate up. And don't worry, you don't have to run a marathon to get those benefits. Just a little self-care, and you're good to go. Now, this one might surprise you. Pain relief? You've heard of endorphins, right? Those little wonders are like your body's natural painkillers. So, if you've got aches and pains, like arthritis, back pain, or even sore muscles, masturbation can actually help ease that discomfort. It's like taking a dose of ibuprofen without the pill. And trust me, I'll take any relief I can get. Speaking of comfort, let's not forget about muscle relaxation. After a long day of well life, we can all get a little tense. But masturbation helps your muscles relax, and it's a much better way to unwind than popping a pill. It's like giving yourself a mini massage right from the inside out. And here's the thing, mental health. As we age, sometimes it feels like people forget about us. We can get lonely, depressed. Masturbation is a way to connect with yourself. It's self-love. It reminds you that you're still here, still feeling, still alive. And let me tell you, there's something empowering about taking care of yourself that way. Plus, it's free, and there's no prescription needed. Why not give it a try? When you're doing it, you're literally taking care of your body, mind, and spirit. And as far as I'm concerned, that's just as important as any other part of your health routine. You know, when I was younger, I would never have had this conversation. Not with my friends, not with my family, and certainly not with anyone who didn't already know what I was talking about. There were so many things we just didn't discuss back then, especially when it came to women's bodies. And let's face it, even now, it can still feel a little uncomfortable to bring up. I can remember a time when talking about anything even remotely sexual, well, that was practically forbidden. And especially for older folks. You didn't see women in their 60s, 70s, or 80s talking about things like this. No, we were supposed to quietly fade into the background, acting like our needs and desires didn't matter anymore. But that's just not true, is it? When I was younger, we were told to be modest, to be proper, and that women just didn't need to talk about their own desires or needs. We were expected to keep it all under wraps. The idea that an older woman could still have a healthy sexual life or, heaven forbid, enjoy herself, well, that was laughable back then. It was like our sexuality was something that disappeared once we reached a certain age. But you know what? I've been around long enough to see that doesn't just disappear. It doesn't go away just because we get older. It doesn't stop being important. I remember one time, back when I was in my 50s, I told a close friend that I'd started thinking about my own pleasure a little more. She looked at me like I'd grown a second head. It wasn't even just the idea that I was doing it, but the very thought that a woman my age could still want to was, well, shocking to her. And it wasn't her fault. It was the way society had conditioned us all to believe that. After a certain age, our bodies were something to be forgotten, or at least put away. But I'm here to tell you that's just nonsense. Here's the thing, we have to change that narrative. There's this outdated idea that once we hit a certain age, we should just stop enjoying life. But I'm here to tell you that age doesn't change what your body craves. Your body might be different as you get older. Things might not work the same way they used to, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean it stops deserving attention and care. It's funny how, when you get older, people act like certain things just aren't appropriate anymore. Sex, intimacy, desire. Suddenly, it's a young person's game. But what I've learned, especially in these later years, is that pleasure is for everyone. And I'll be honest with you, there's a power in reclaiming that. There's power in saying, yes, I still matter. Yes, my needs are still valid. Yes, I still have the right to feel good in my own skin. And you know what? It's not just about breaking the stigma for ourselves. It's about breaking it for the generations that come after us too. When younger folks see us living openly, unapologetically, and embracing our bodies well, it sets an example. They need to see that they don't have to hide their own needs when they get older. If we can normalize it for ourselves, we can make it easier for them to embrace their sexuality, their self-care, and their health as they age. You see, when we talk about masturbation, it's not just about the act itself. It's about breaking free from those old ideas that society has clung to for so long. It's about rejecting the notion that after a certain age, we become irrelevant. It's about saying, I deserve to feel good. I deserve to feel alive no matter how old I am. I'm not saying you should go out and tell everyone you meet about your personal habits, of course. But it's time to start breaking down those walls, at least in our own minds. We need to normalize pleasure for older adults. We need to stop acting like our bodies stop mattering just because the calendar flips over another year. So, let's stop pretending like this subject is taboo or awkward. You deserve happiness. You deserve pleasure. You deserve to take care of yourself in every way possible, mentally, emotionally, and yes, physically. And if no one else is going to say it, I will. Let's stop the stigma once and for all. So, there you have it. Masturbation isn't just about pleasure. It's about health. It's about self-care. And it's about celebrating this amazing body that's carried you through all these years. So go ahead, take care of yourself. You're worth it.